The Squadbusters team absolutely cooked with this update. Consumables have been removed. This includes megas, keys, and rerolls. The lucky find comeback mechanic will still be in the game. We're gonna see some balances to the turbo system, a massive amount of balance changes, and now there's chest quadruplers. Let's talk about all the gameplay changes that are coming with this update. Starting with the most crucial one, we've reached the conclusion to remove megas, rerolls, and key consumables. After the update, players with any of these items will receive skins and coins instead when opening the game for the first time. Some features such as lucky finds and the ability to refresh a chest will remain but tweaked. We'll dive into those in a little bit. So what's going on? Why are they getting removed? After closely assessing battle consumables, we found there wasn't a balance for megas that would be satisfying and impactful for all players. In addition, keys and rerolls showed very low usage rate, indicating that they weren't well integrated into the game experience because people mainly just didn't want to buy them. That was the biggest thing. So the team is committed to making sure that Squadbusters gameplay is always improving. This means changing things that don't work and moving forward with the things to do. So that is awesome. So what's going to happen to the megas that you currently have? Well, the megas are going to be converted into skins. So if we go ahead and click this claim button, we'll see Sunburn Barbarian come out, Royal King will back out, Kitsune Witch, skin unlocked, Magical Shelly, skin unlocked, El Tigre, grab that, Dragon Chicken as well, beautiful. And the other duplicates that you have of that will be converted into coins. It'll be 1,000 coins for every unused mega. So if you have a lot of megas saved up, probably now is a good time to skip those when you get those in match because 1,000 coins is nothing to flaunt at. And yes, if you have unlocked the mega, then you will be able to get the skin for it, even if you have a quantity of 0. It's only about unlocking that you will get the skin. Any extra megas are just converted into 1,000 coins. The other thing that will happen is included in those 80,000 coins we just saw was keys and rerolls. The following conversions will happen for keys and rerolls. Normal keys will convert to 500 coins, epic keys will convert to 800 coins, and fusion keys will convert to 1,500 coins. And then reroll tokens will convert to 300 coins per reroll token. And for the characters that are maxed out characters, as you can see at the bottom, will now convert to portal energy instead of XP. So this way, if you're maxed out and a new world happens to be released, like we saw, then you will get portal energy instead of XP for maxed out characters. So basically, what does this mean for gameplay? Well, as you can see, there's no battle bag, and let's grab the El Tigre El Primo. There's no battle bag anymore. So the battle bag is going to be removed. Nothing will happen. And now instead of rerolls, let me pull up a chest here. So instead of rerolls, what's going to happen is there's going to be this refresh button. So you'll get 3 refreshes per game and you have the opportunity to roll that 3 times. So honestly, no real interesting things that are going to happen with the reroll. I honestly like that system a lot better because it's a little bit more strategic. And with lucky finds, if you remember, the lucky finds basically gave you megas. But since those are no longer a thing, then you're going to be seeing fusion units instead, which is super cool. So that those will happen more often, and the megas will depend on, or the lucky finds will be dependent on how big your squad is, and they will be happening at a much more frequent pace. So you're gonna have opportunities where you're gonna be able to find more lucky finds more often in games based on how many units are in your squad at the time you're opening a chest. So some of the key changes that are going to be coming into the game in terms of balance changes, let's talk about Turbo and other gameplay first. So Turbo is going to recharge faster and with less delay to make more passive moments more regenerative. Blue boxes contain 1 additional turbo boost, so blue boxes will now give 2 turbo boots, making it easier to stack up on the turbo quickly. Squads instantly recharge some turbo when they lose a character that came from a chest to allow a more tactical options such as fights such as when squad fights escalate. So this is going to be huge for a comeback mechanic, because basically as soon as your squad starts to get lower, you're going to regenerate some boots and you're able to get out of there if you really need to. Regular gem mines are now going to drop substantially more gems to increase their relevance and reward for hanging out in the middle. Rage and super rage spells are now going to have shorter duration and be less effective to bring them more in line with the balance of other spells. Love this change. Free spells and other minor damage dealing sources will now no longer cause monsters to drop loot on hits. This incurs things like loot goblin, pinatas, etc. And this will help keep battles running more smoothly, so it seems like an optimization change here. So now let's talk about some of the characters and monsters that are going to be balanced in the game, starting with an exciting one, fusion rebalancing. So all characters are going to have substantially improved health when they're not fused. So in their basic forms, they will have more health. We're going to dive into the details, and so you can know all the differences, so make sure you stay tuned for that. The fusion health also is going to be reduced to keep the fusion health roughly similar to what it was before. So basically the multiplier of what you got from fusions before is not going to be the same now. So now let's talk about some of the balance changes to the actual characters. Now there's not too many specific changes. All in all, HP was buffed across the board. So in non-fusion units, the HP is going to be stronger. This means non-fusion units have a better chance to survive. The DPS of fusion units has gone down, but the HP has also gone up slightly on a majority of the units. Now, I'm not going to go through all 31 units because that would be a lot, but basically, I'm going to just flash the numbers on screen as we're going through gameplay and kind of talking about this. So basically, the HP values that you're going to see when fused units happen is it will be 3 times the value of the non-fusion version. So for example, with Penny, she has 1700 HP. When fused, she's going to have 5100 HP. So those are really the major differences that are going to be coming with the changes. And then also for DPS, a lot of the units are staying the same, but for some of the fusions before, there was a little bit extra DPS that was taxed onto it. But now the DPS rate across all characters is just going to be times 2 across the board. So Penny does 230 DPS, meaning her DPS in the fusion form is going to be 460. So there's no 2.5, 3 times for DPS. It's all straight 2 times across the board for DPS, and then all 3 times across the board for HP, which is going to create for some more long-lasting fights because the HP is getting increased overall. DPS and a majority of the units are staying the same in their non-fusion form, and then in the fusion form they're also going down slightly on a few units as well. The chicken's hatchlings will no longer lose health over time just because they're already so easy to bust. The Hog Rider's classic and super turbo buffs are going to be reduced to balance it with other turbo changes. Most of the reduction applies when Hog Rider is stacking its ability rather than its initial ability. Bee's bees will now deal more damage. Nita is now going to be standing in the back of the squad to protect herself as a ranged unit, and Nita's bear is going to start respawning faster, and in the ultra evolution for Nita, the bear is going to respawn much faster. Mavis's carrots are going to be giving less loot when destroyed by bomb spells, and this is going to be more consistent with Greg's trees being destroyed by bomb spells, so that way the carrots won't provide as much loot as they did before when destroying them with the bomb spell. Ice Wizard's attack is going to get a rebalance. Let's go. Ice Fan is going to deal less damage to the first target that it hits, but a little bit more damage to the enemies behind it, emphasizing the ability of the piercing effect. The Fusion normal attacks is going to have its damage scaling fixed, so now it will deal more damage with the Fusion normal attack. The Yeti Mite's loot is going to be improved, making them more valuable to bust. And the mech's attack trigger range from Beach World is going to have its range reduced, and this is going to make it more effective as a monster pet. So it seems like this is more of a rebalance to make it a little bit better with the monster pet modifier, but also kind of nerf it as an NPC. Now let's talk about some of the battle modifiers that are going to be coming. Super Gem Mine is now going to drop gems more often and drop many more gems from time to time, so there's a chance it will just start erupting with gems as the battle goes on. Pinata Party modifier will now have blue boxes in it. Before it was all pinatas, there was no blue boxes, but with the change to blue boxes getting more turbo, they're adding the blue boxes into the modifier, so that way you can guarantee yourself a little bit more turbo. Modifiers that greatly change the chest opening experience are now going to be less likely to appear in rotation when getting modifiers, so this is going to be things like Anger Vines, Doppelgangers, Epic Overload, Double Trouble, and One Coin Chest. And some modifiers are going to be removed, which is also going to remove them from the achievement page, and the 2 modifiers being removed are Mega Start and Baby Battle. So the chest multipliers are getting a nice little rework. There's going to be 3 different chest multipliers that are available. There's going to be a 4 times chest multiplier, a 2 times chest modifier like normal, and then also a 3 times chest multiplier. These are going to be consumed per battle instead of with a time limit. So with the chest multiplier changes, you can see there's a chest multiplier button above the play button, and you can see what is in your queue. So you're able to stack chest multipliers, but it'll go in the order that you collect them, and then you could choose to activate or inactivate that. So that means next time in your next match, you will not be using your chest multiplier. Instead, you will just play games like normal, and then if you get up to a good win streak, then you can activate the chest multiplier and use them. So it is no longer time-based, it is going to be consumed per battle. And this is an absolutely massive change. The battle leaderboard on the left-hand side of the screen is now going to be relative to the player's position to make it easier to see who's ahead and who's behind. So it's not just always going to be first, second, third. Instead, it's going to kind of cater to where you are in the game. So that way you can see how far you need to be to get into that top 5. Can't exactly show this feature in the dev build, but in replays and spectating, the chest contents will now be shown when someone is spectating you. There will also be a fixed bug that sometimes you'll activate a spell when pressing turbo, and training rooms are now going to spawn more varieties of bosses more often, and also will contain a blue box. So those are all the changes that are going to be coming with this update. Let me know which is your favorite down in the comment section below, and make sure you stay subscribed so you don't miss out on future sneak peeks, and the update is going to be dropping on Wednesday.